Monty was a very small mouse with a very big problem. He was always tired. While other mice in the hedgerow were dashing through tunnels, doing backflips off buttercups, and stealing crumbs from the bakery, Monty was snuggled in his mossy nest, snoozing away with a leaf for a blanket and a beetle-shaped pillow. Monty didn't dislike fun. In fact, he loved the idea of fun. He just preferred to have fun in his dreams. And oh, what dreams! He once dreamt he was flying a cracker-shaped spaceship through a sky made of jelly, being chased by hungry badgers in bowler hats. But the trouble was, Monty slept so much that the other mice started to whisper. "He's not lazy," said Maisie Mouse politely. "He's just horizontally gifted." "He naps through dinner," squeaked another. "Once he fell asleep in his soup." Even the field mice from 2 hedgerows over had heard about Monty the Sleepy Mouse. Some thought it was funny. Some thought it was strange. But Monty? He just yawned and said, "Maybe I'm just dreaming too hard." One crisp autumn morning, Monty awoke, briefly, to find a tiny note stuck to his tail. It read, "Dear Monty, the Great Hedgewood Sleep-Off is tomorrow at dusk. You simply must compete. Yawnfully yours, the Drowsy Council." Monty blinked. The what now? He turned the note over. On the back it said, "P.S. There will be cheese." Well, that was enough to make Monty consider staying awake. A sleep competition? That sounded like something he could win without even trying. And cheese? He once dreamed of cheese so real, he drooled on his whiskers. The next evening, Monty arrived at the edge of Hedgewood Grove, yawning so hard he nearly inhaled a pine cone. Dozens of animals were already gathering, badgers in bedrobes, foxes in footy pajamas, and a squirrel with a teddy bear bigger than herself. At the center of the clearing sat a squirrel named Judge Snorbottom, wearing spectacles and a nightcap made of moth wings. "Welcome one and y'all," she said, standing on a mushroom podium, "to the annual Great Hedgewood Sleep-Off, where snoring is scored, dreaming is dazzling, and drooling earns bonus points." The crowd roared, a very gentle, sleepy roar. Contestants lined up on lily pads, toadstools, and piles of fluff. Monty found a cozy dandelion head and curled up immediately, snuggling into his tail. "The rules are simple," said Judge Snorbottom. "Stay asleep. Dream wildly. And whatever you do, no sleepwalking. That's cheating." The sleep-off began. 10 minutes in, Monty was dreaming of a cheese balloon floating over a pudding mountain. He was nibbling the balloon to stay aloft. Below him, a crowd of jelly beans were chanting his name. Meanwhile, the squirrel with the oversized teddy bear kept rolling off her mushroom. A mole kept sleep-whistling the theme to Micebusters. And a hedgehog drooled so much he floated off his pillow like a tiny spiky hovercraft. Monty, however, slept like a legend. He snored like a lullaby. He sighed like a breeze. He murmured something about more pickle on the moon cheese. And everyone sighed at the cuteness. After 3 hours, animals began to drop out. Literally. The ferret had a dream he was tap dancing and fell off his stump. The goose got tangled in her own nightgown. One contestant dreamt he was awake, which woke him up in real life, and he promptly fainted from the disappointment. But Monty slept on. In his dream, he had invented a cheese so delicious it made owls sing operas. He was knighted by the Queen of Crackers and given a sword made entirely of spaghetti. At one point, he had to joust with a broccoli on a unicycle. But even then, he remained blissfully snoozy. When dawn light tiptoed through the trees, only 2 animals remained asleep. Monty, and a badger named Frederick who was so deep in slumber, he looked like a fuzzy loaf of bread. Judge Snorbottom tiptoed over with a clipboard. Monty's dreams include cheese travel, royal banquets, opera singing birds, and spaghetti duels. Creativity, 10 points. Snoring consistency, 10 points. Drool sparkle, 12 points. Frederick, meanwhile, had a dream where he sat in a chair for 8 hours doing absolutely nothing. Dream quality, beige, said the judge. Monty wins. The crowd burst into gentle applause, polite enough not to wake anyone. Monty, still asleep, was crowned Grand Snoozer of the Year, draped in a blanket stitched from moth wings and crowned with a marshmallow hat. They placed him on a float made of pillows and paraded him gently through the grove while harp-playing spiders played a lullaby march. Monty only woke up 3 days later. He opened one eye, stretched his tiny paws and whispered, Did I miss the cheese? Not at all, giggled Maisie Mouse, setting down a tray of cheddar chunks, brie cubes, and a mysterious blue cheese that buzzed if you got too close. You're the champ, Monty. Monty blinked. I won something? Maisie nodded. You're the best sleeper in the whole of Hedgewood. Even the owls voted for you, and they don't even blink. Monty took a small bite of cheddar and smiled. Well, I guess my dreams are finally paying off. Just as he reached for a second cube of cheese, he let out a mighty yawn. Maisie watched as Monty rolled onto his back, made a soft squeaky snore, and fell asleep right in the middle of his victory feast. A butterfly gently landed on his nose. And the tray of cheese? He dreamt it was a boat and sailed it across a gravy sea, waving to pickle pirates as he passed. The animals of Hedgewood quietly tiptoed away, leaving their sleepy champion to his cheese-fueled dreams. And from that day on, whenever someone said, "You're such a sleepyhead," others would reply, "Well, if Monty can win a trophy for it, maybe dreaming is a superpower." And maybe, just maybe, it is. The end.